Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Ramadhanty from 3C class, and with my partner Fatimatul Hudaefah and Fazya Alifah, in this last material, we will discussion about English. We will presentate about English language learning strategies, attend to from and attend to many strategies. A case study at SMA Negeri 9 Makassar. Introduction. Indonesia is presently amidst drastic social change and transformation towards democratizations and reformation of societal system. In the context of development, Indonesia government develops all development aspects. With this, there is an assumption that there is a high demand for English as a language for communication in Indonesia. Acquiring a high proficiency in English is also seen as an asset for daily activity. This is because someone can improve his or her knowledge through various media in which English becomes tool of instruction. In Indonesia, English has vital role in everyday life, and it has been first foreign language taught in Indonesia and become a compulsory subject of the secondary schools and tertiary level. And currently, there are some elementary schools place English as a local content in their curricula. The teaching of English in secondary school in Indonesia hopefully will improve students' English communicative competence as stated in competency-based curriculum. But the facts reveal that the ability of secondary school students is low. Noor, 1994, number 2, states that the result of the teaching of English in Indonesia has long been considered unsatisfactory. Accordingly, Hijrawati 2011 argues that English teaching and learning has not given satisfactory results. She therefore quotes some research showing the students' low ability in English. Algamasing, Algamasing in Hijrawati 2011 found that many students in SMP Negeri 9 Bawah had difficulty to learn the reading comprehension, and the student did not master the text they had read. Harwanta in Hijawati 2011 reported that among the 24 students at the second grade in SMP Negeri 4 Sampulawa, no one of them can write a paragraph. Kara in Hijawati 2011 also reported that most senior high school graduates did not acquire enough vocabularies. This is because they are afraid of making mistakes in expressing their ideas in English, and they are reluctant to learn by heart. Majority of the secondary school graduates do not have adequate proficiency in English, and the question then arises: what are the underlying causes to this problem? Fino, Fino Chiaro and Bonomo in Manda in 98 point out that there are many interrelated factors to this problem is the students' aptitude, aspiration, and needs, motivation, native language, social, economic, that is, previous language experience, and attack. Other causes, other causes are the teacher's quality is still low. Students' motivations to learn is low. Learning aids are limited, and support from parents are not optimal. Dealing with English language learning strategies, ELLSS. There are some pertinent studies relating to learning strategies which are frequently employed by some research. Those strategies are inventory learning strategies by Oxford, are inventory learning strategies by Rubin. In the study, the writer employed inventory learning strategies developed by Rubin, which consists of 26 items. This is an endeavor to make an intensive study of English language learning strategies employed by senior secondary school students at SMA Negeri 9 Makassar. Therefore, it will be right to say that learning strategy research is crucial to be studied because the English proficiency of the senior secondary school graduates at SMA Negeri 9 Makassar was very low, as revealed in the national final exam in 3 academic years, in which just had average score 4.43 in 2001 and 4.7 in 2002 and 4.45 in 2003. Therefore, this present study confines in its investigation on the use of English language learning strategies employed by secondary school students in English at SMA Negeri 9 Makassar. The research question and research objectives are postulated in detail as follows. For the first, objective one, to identify the most dominant of English language learning strategies used by secondary school students in Indonesia. Objective 2, to explore the relationship between language learning strategy use and English proficiency tests. And second one, which English language learning strategies were most frequently used by secondary school students in Indonesia? Question 2, what is the relationship between language learning strategy use and English proficiency level? Okay, and B, review of related literature. Strategies as the important factors in learning a language should be taken into account. As Alton 2004 argues that if the strategies are ineffective or less effective, learning will occur more slowly. Strategy is a way the so-called art in determining one's position to be successful in a language. Strategies as a techniques are devices which the learner should use to acquire second language knowledge. By Stern, 1983, learning strategies are techniques approach or deliberate actions that students take in order to facilitate the learning and recall of both linguistic and context area information by Charmot and Gwendon and Rubin 90. Oxford Inland and Oxford 2003 defines language learning strategies as specific techniques used by individual learners to facilitate the comprehension, retention, retrieval, of information in the second or foreign language. Similarly, Shamot in Chambers and Noman 2003 states that learning strategies are the techniques or products that facilitate a learning task, special tasks, and behavior that individuals use to help them comprehend new information. An important area of research on language learning has been concerned with the cognitive operation that learners apply in classroom or other learning situations. These behaviors turn learning strategies by Chamot 1977. Okay, and the next material will be explained by my partner, Fazya Sekar.
Okay, thank you. And the next is still review of related literature in relation to the important factor of language learning, Various attempts have been made by a few researchers to find out how learners can cope with the difficulties in language learning. Some researchers have produced inventories of learning strategies. For example, Rubin at 1975, Stein at 1975, and Froelich at 1976, Nyman et al. At 1978, in Stern at 1983, and Arifin in 2000. But their lists, comprising more or less similar categories, are divided up into somewhat different ways. Therefore, this present study will try to answer the basic question: why a certain group of learners or certain individual of learners are successful whilst, whilst others are not. This study also focused on examining the strategies of good language learners based on a list of 7 strategies developed by Rubin in Race. First is good language learners are willing and accurate guessers. Second, successful language learners have strong motivation to communicate. And third, successful language students are often not inhibited. And fourth, good language learners are prepared to attend to form. And fifth, good language learners practice. Sixth, good language learners monitor their own speech and that of others. And the last is good language learners attend to meaning. Studies of the effect of implementing a particular strategy in language learning employed by learners in the world have been carried out by some researchers with varying degrees of success. Those researchers are Neyman et al. 1978, Bialystok and Rohlik at 1978, Pulitzer and at 1980, Pulitzer and McGuirty at 1985, Chesterfield and Chesterfield at 1985, Willing at 1985, O'Malley L at 1985, Mochizuki at 1996, Kayat at 1999, and Smays at 1000, as illustrated in Table 1 and Table 2. So this is the table, and next will be presented by my friend Fatimatul Hudaefah.
Okay, thank you. The next is findings and discussion. And this is table 4 and table 5. Findings and discussion. Strategy A refers to good language learners are willing and accurate guessers. Strategy B refers to successful language learners have strong motivation to communicate. Strategy C refers to successful language students are often not inhibited. Strategy D refers to good language learners are prepared to attend to form. Strategy E refers to good language learners practice. Strategy F refers to good language learners monitor their own speech and that of others. Strategy G refers to good language learners attend to meaning. The result of the study revealed that one, the most dominant or popular of English language learning strategies (ELLSS) used by secondary school students are attend to form and attend to meaning, and others were the least popular. The findings are therefore discussed to give theoretical arguments. The above strategies employed by secondary school students in the Indonesian context based on good language learners strategy GLLS by Rubin 1975. And this is at table 6. Table 6 illustrates that p-value is 0.006. This means that statistically the difference between pretest and posttest was significant because P is 0.006 is smaller than 0.05. This means that the difference between pretest and posttest was significant. This also reveals that the learning strategies had positive contributions towards English proficiency and their contribution was significant. And the last is conclusion and suggestion. Uh, Number one is conclusion. Firstly, the results of the study show that the senior secondary school students at SMA Negeri 9 Makassar were high to low users of strategies. Furthermore, a 10 to 4 marked the highest usage of or the most frequently used strategy, followed by a 10 to meaning strategy, and strong motivation to communicate was the least dominant. Secondly, the study shows that statistically there was a positive correlation between pretest and posttest, and the correlation was significant. This means that the learning strategies had positive contribution on students' English proficiency. Finally, on the basis of the opinion that the teaching of English as a foreign language in Indonesia should begin teaching the students how to employ various learning strategies to develop their English proficiency. This is because LLSS can facilitate the learning of the target language by language learners. It is therefore expected to employ a wide variety of learning strategies because it is believed that one of the determinants for learners' success in learning English is the result of the learning strategies used by the learners. Number two is suggestion. The following are some suggestions required for further investigations and a model of training learners or learning on how to learn based upon language learning strategies (LLSS). Firstly, it is suggested on the basis of the result that the teaching of English as a foreign language in Indonesia should begin teaching the students how to employ various learning strategies to develop their communicative competence. Secondly, based upon this study, both learners and teachers need to become aware of the learning strategies through strategy instruction. On the one hand, the learners, as the core of learning process, have to be risk-taking in terms of trying to communicate with others, becoming good or accurate aggressors, practice, etc. Thirdly, the teachers have to introduce and train learning strategies to students and provide them with opportunities for practicing the strategies by integrating them into the classroom's instructional plan. Fourthly, the possibility of the directional effect of strategy use and proficiency level suggests that some strategies are more effective and useful for improving English proficiency. Attend to form and attend to meaning, which were used significantly more often by the students who had score improvement in post-test and have been noted as strategies that are directly related to learning as they involve the use of the target language to process language input. And finally, there is a need for more comprehensive investigation on a wide range of variables affecting language learning strategies (LLSS) employed by Indonesian learners, such as cultural background, motivation, attitude, age, cognitive, affective, personality in terms of learners' internal factors, and external factors like teachers, material, and facilities. Furthermore, because the study confines its investigation on social science classes at senior secondary school, further investigation on English learning strategies employed by natural science classes may be conducted, and the learning strategies employed by elementary school, junior secondary school students, and students at tertiary level are also suggested. And that's from us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for contribution and attention. We have to apologize if we had a mistake. And thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.